What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Leon and Resident Evil Requiem yet again. Look, we thought this weekend was going to be the time, just like I guess we thought the last 5 times was going to be the time. To be honest, kind of plays a little bit into the fun of things, and I'm not upset. I really am not. I kind of look at this, well, it is a video game, but I look at this entire adventure as a game as well. Eventually, it's going to happen. I've talked about it like 3-4 times already, right? They can let Leon just kind of ride into the base game, and I think to some people that would make them quite happy. I just don't see how you're going to be able to get through that. I feel like a leak or just something is going to happen that would kind of almost ruin that master plan, if that is the master plan. I feel like the plan is to show Leon in the game, Leon playable, all that jazz before the game comes out. Now, there's a couple opportunities at Tokyo Game Show that a lot of people thought they were going to do, even as late as like earlier today. So they didn't do it. They let them all pass. So we're going to come back to that, but what I want to show you is, and this is a little bit old, right? This is going back to Gamescom, so we're going back like a month ago, and it's about 18 seconds long. Comes from @Grace__Ashcroft, not maybe the Grace, but a different one. And again, a while ago, but you can watch it and you tell me what you think that they're saying here.
Kills you. And
can we also get a shout out next time you're looking at some Resident Evil Requiem footage? The hair, RE Engine goes so hard on hair.
Yes.
Leon's, Grace's, looking spectacular.
Yeah, individual strands of hair,
100%.
light filtering through them. And then when you're talking about visuals, this new Stalker monster.
Okay, so I've seen some people try to push it aside and say, well, you know, like they were talking about, because like I think before these 18 seconds, they were talking about kind of Resident Evil in general. And to be fair, she does talk about the engine. She's talking about the engine. And so you could be talking about like RE4 Remake, right? You could say, oh, look at how his hair looks in that. But the thing is, she literally starts it off by saying, next time you see Resident Evil Requiem, look for the hair, right? I mean, those are almost word for word what she says. She starts it by saying, next time you see Resident Evil Requiem, not the games in general. Yeah, they're talking about visuals. Yeah, they're talking about the engine, but she talks about specifically when you see the game. And then when she talks about the hair, she literally, the first name out of her mouth is Leon. And then the thing is, okay, well, you could be talking, again, Leon saying 4. The next name is Grace. So the thing is, why would you put those two together like that, right? If you're talking about Leon in a different game, maybe you would mention Ada, or maybe you'd mention literally any character that's in 4, but that is not in 9, right? Instead, you say, next time you look at 9, look at the hair, and look at Leon's hair, look at Grace's hair. So, you know, all of those things together. Now, again, this was a while. This was at Gamescom. Now, if you remember, this has been, and this is why I also think they should just do it. I'm not going to force them like to do it tomorrow or anything, but this is why they should just announce it, because I think it's an open secret. And because I feel we've heard enough rumors that it's very possible at some point, whether it was Summer Game Fest, whether it was Gamescom, whatever, journalists got to see something that we haven't seen. And that is leaked, right? Maybe Duscalum got his hands on it. Other people got their hands on it. And I feel like what they saw was Leon. There's something that was shown specifically to, and we do know that. We do know there was like a behind the scenes, like exclusive to those that were there, to the press and all that jazz. We know they did see something. It's just, I guess we don't know specifically what they saw, right? And it's just, why would you say that? Why would you say that? Also, I think I've talked about it before in past videos, like even in articles, IGN, GameSpot, Eurogamer, like just, you know, think about some of the bigger ones. They will throw out this rumor that Leon's in the game very just nonchalantly, right? They'll just say like, you know, it's been widely reported that Leon will be playable, but we still haven't heard anything. Normally when leaks and rumors and stuff like that happen, number one, a lot of the big press won't even touch half of them, because I just feel like it's a sensitive thing between, like, say, the IGNs and then the publishers, right? Maybe the publishers don't feel comfortable. So I think some of that kind of limits why IGN maybe doesn't do it as much, but they do it sometimes. It feels weird. It's always felt weird that, like, everybody's talking about it, and everybody is very okay talking about it. That's the part that actually gets me, because that, I've seen so many rumors. I cover so many rumors on like 100+ different games on the channel. You normally, like, the way that they're talked about, this feels different. This feels like they've almost been given the green light, or they know something that we don't know, so they're more okay with saying it in an article, just like as a throw throwaway line when normally they wouldn't do something like that. So, I mean, that just kind of adds fuel to the fire. Again, of course, it wasn't shown at Tokyo Game Show. People thought that it would be shown, and we move on to the next one. You know, I mean, look, October is right around the corner, a Halloween month, right? So maybe you do something kind of fun for that. Maybe it's a Game Awards announcement. See, at this point, I think it kind of moves to that, right? Because the game comes out end of February, and the next big thing is the Game Awards. PlayStation's done. No more State of Plays this year. The Nintendo, and I don't think Nintendo Directs are going to happen the rest of the year. Xbox, they do that developer direct at the end of January. That would be obviously before Resident Evil, but they do it with their own studios. They're not going to, I think, fly to Capcom and do some deep dive there. So I think really, in terms of a big show, Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, Summer Game Fest, right? The only one left is Game Awards. Is the only one that they can do it at, unless they want to do it on their own. Now, look, I think doing a trailer, Leon reveal trailer, that could get you several millions of views, and you don't need Jeff Keighley. You don't need PlayStation. You don't need no one to do something like that. So I will throw that out there, that like they don't need a big show because their big announcement is the big announcement, right? They don't need to tie it to something else. But if they wanted to, they only got one left. So I think it gets moved to Game Awards or whatever, but I still think it's happening. It's been a weird handling of the situation, I guess. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.